absolutely beautiful Virgo friends, and welcome to your horoscope for August of 2021. And Virgo, happy birthday this month. Once we get to the 22nd, we can put the party hats on, welcome in Virgo season, and it is your annual time to shine. It's really exciting. So if you're in the first half of the Virgo crew, I hope that you have an absolutely beautiful birthday time as we travel through August. Now, I also think that as we travel through this first portion of August, we want to keep in mind that the sun is still in Leo. So there is still a fair amount of energy happening in your 12th house, the space of things that are hidden, rest, retreat, privacy, vulnerability. These things are happening in this particular area. So we don't want to just bust out of that, even though it's August, take this time seriously. Take your respite. Take your spiritual centering time pretty seriously as we're moving and getting towards birthday time. Now, I also love this month that we've got a new moon that is going to happen in that 12th house space, right? Get you primed right before birthday energy. But then also we're going to have a full moon that happens in Aquarius in the 6th house. Now, we already saw a semblance of this particular energy in July when we had the full moon in Aquarius at 1 degree of Aquarius, and now we're going to have a full moon in Aquarius at 29 degrees. So there is a continued conversation that is happening between these lunar energies, and some of this is about Virgo, I think, owning your space. It is about the discernment of prioritizing your peace, making sure that your mind is on track, making sure that in a daily routine way in your life, you are surrounded by a tribe of people you feel like have your best interest in and that you are also putting into. So I think there's a lot about owning that space, but also, having this space of discernment that is in here this month. So I look forward to talking about all of that with you as we see what is going on here in August. So let's go ahead and get into it. Right at the beginning of the month, we're going to have this new moon happening at 16 degrees of Leo. This is going to be on August 8th. And of course, this will be lighting up your 12th house space. Now, at the new moon, we're planting our seeds of intention, but we plant them in the soil of magic because it's dark, but it's very, very fertile soil. So whatever you plant at this new moon, for good or for ill, this is what you're going to work on for several weeks. Now, this is in the 12th house for you, the 12th house space. This is a lot of what is hidden. This space walks between the worlds for you. This is a tender and vulnerable area because something about it is so private or so secret that, it's your quiet insides that are really existing here. There is spiritual connection and implication that is involved with this. There's connections to things in the past. Now, with this Leo energy, there is a need to express in this area. And I think, Virgo, a lot about when people are, when you see people just in a state of genuine joy from the inside out, the bliss that rises up out of their laughter when you hear that, this is something I think about at this new moon. Like, what gives you that? What gives you this genuine Leo, heart-centered, joyful expression in this particular area? Or what is that energy that rises up in you that needs to express itself, where you need to wail, you need to cry, you need to mourn, you need to 12th house, allow things to transition out and come to some kind of culmination. In the energy of Leo as well, I think of things that have to do with your joy. Are you joyful in your spirit? Are you joyful in your spiritual practices? Are you being creative? Are there things in your past, in this past year, in this past couple months that you need to have a conversation around and make some peace with so that you have the freedom and the ability to let this new energy of the healthy 12th house really take root? Are there projects you've been working on behind the scenes, and now this is giving you that energy to continue to move it forward and allow you the courage as Virgo season comes around to bring those things to the light of day? However this is hitting you, there is a fair amount of vulnerability and there is a fair amount of forgiveness that I think comes with this particular moon. This moon will also square Uranian energy, so it brings a really unexpected surprise to the table, or something unexpected that you just couldn't see coming. Uranus is traveling through the energy of Taurus. So you could have an interaction with someone who has heavy Taurus energy, right? That could be something, and it's a surprising piece of information. And surprising doesn't make it bad. Surprising means maybe you do gotta go back to it. That was terrible grammar. Maybe you do have to go back to it to figure something out or to gather information. This is especially in your 9th house. You know, one of the things I'm thinking about for you, did you have a conversation about maybe advanced education, training, travel, faith, something legal even, you know, in this last few years, and now it's back to your table and you're realizing you need to do something with that? I think that this is a prominent place where we may see that show up at this particular moon, okay? As we continue on, we're going to get to the 11th and see Mercury move home into the energy of Virgo. So right here in your 1st house, Mercury is in full speed, full power, which means your mind, your thinking, your communication, you're putting yourself out there is in full power as well, because Mercury is your ruler. Now, Mercury is also the ruler of Gemini in your general horoscope, which means it's the ruler of your 10th house. Virgo, I would be under no surprise whatsoever at this particular point if you're not changing your job status, if you're not making important decisions or having important conversations around your work, what you do for work, what about what you're doing with your name and your reputation in public, right? The way that you move, the way that you show up, and the way that you are heard. I think that this Virgo and this Mercury energy are helping you to prioritize your peace, to prioritize putting you in the driver's seat of your life for some experiences you would really like to have. But Mercury is really, really business savvy as well. So I want you to take time this month, Virgo, as Mercury comes home, to look at your patterns, okay? Look at your patterns of work. Look at your patterns of belief around work. Look at your patterns around relationships, around, you know, what you think you're supposed to be doing for work, who you are supposed to be. And let's see if you're able to spot patterns that are maybe not as useful to you anymore. And you'll actually get some help with that as we get to the 19th and we see Uranus head into the energy of a retrograde. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, on August 16th, we're going to see Venus move into the energy of Libra. Now, Venus is also in home court turf right here, being that ruler of this Libra energy. As Venus moves here and moves into the 2nd house, whenever Venus ingresses someplace, or a planet ingresses or comes into a particular sign or a house, it brings with it its energy. So Venus is coming into this money-making, value, self-worth sector, bringing a harmony, maybe bringing money for creative talents, projects, products that you offer out that you can make money with, that you can turn into something. It could also be an energy too. I'm thinking, you know, you still got the sun in that 12th house. If you feel like there are things that are not valuable to you, possessions that, you know, maybe you've outgrown or something like that, it's time to get rid of them. You may be able to put it on letgo.com and have your best life with that experience. Now, one other thing that stirs my mind here with this 2nd house energy is that whatever is happening around money for you seems to be quite collaborative. There is this partnership energy. So whether it is a partnership like a marriage, a business partnership, you're signing a contract, whatever it is, it's like collaborative partnership level money, and it's conscious and it's chosen. You know what you are doing here. So if it happens to be something financial like that, just know that Venus is bringing that goodness to the table. But also in terms of self-confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, Venus is sliding into this this 2nd house, and I think giving you a boost of confidence in your relationships, conscious, chosen, one-on-one relationships. So this should be really helpful and really delicious for you in this particular arena. Now, like I said, when we get to the 19th, we see Uranus step into this retrograde position, and I do think that if you needed to go back over something in your life, something in your world, you needed to re-see it, or you're calling back to some training, calling back to education, something like that, this Uranian energy will make it a little bit easier for you to understand why you would go back to that particular place. What's the value of that? As Uranus came into Taurus, one of the things we got to learn is the attitudes, actions, and behaviors that we have that are not actually serving us, right? They are not leading us to freedom. Instead, they are old ideas or they're old behaviors that are keeping us trapped. And Uranus wants freedom. It wants freedom in this Taurus area, what you've thought about money, what you have thought about yourself, what you have thought about and what you valued before in your life, what you thought about education. What have you thought? How have you acted? What have you believed around faith? Amends. Do you have areas you need to clean up in your life, Virgo? This retrograde time is going to help you go over those things, because by clearing those out and addressing them is where you get the maximum amount of freedom. The good news is because it's a retrograde, these things have already been on your table. Now it's just time to get into them a little bit differently, okay? When we get to the 22nd, we're going to have a full moon happening at 29 degrees of Aquarius, lighting up over here this 6th house space. Now, the full moon says that we need to end something, acknowledge something, or make an adjustment in some way. So in your daily routine, I would ask you to look over, is your heart in your friendship group? In a daily routine, are you connecting in a way that is loving, supported, feels like you're part of a tribe? It's healthy, right? 6th house, health. It is healthy for you, and you feel like you have some genuine friendship there. Or do you have something pulling on your heartstrings where it's like, something is missing here? This is a great energy to answer that question. Work-wise, you could be having a change in projects that you've been going on, or you are needing to end, acknowledge, or adjust something around work in your daily routine, or something around your health in your daily routine. And emotionally, because this is a full moon, I think that you'll know in the full moon time, the sky is filled with light, right? It's the most light that we're going to get ever from a lunar event. So you are seeing things for what they are, and you cannot deny that they are what they are. So listen to that heart space, but also remember that the sun is shining bright over here in this 12th house space. So in the place where you're living, acting, moving, and being, and the place where your heart is calling to on a daily basis, the way that you work in opposition is to find the compromise in the middle. What's the place in the middle where your head and your heart can meet, where you get to be of service to yourself and to others, Virgo, in this particular arena, okay? Also on the 22nd, happy birthday, man! Happy birthday! The sun moves into the energy of Virgo. It's birthday time. Your annual life force begins here. It's a very exciting time. So happy birthday. I look forward to seeing what the transition of this annual rotation brings for you. But also, as the sun lights up the first house space, bringing light, heat, life, and vitality, you maybe get cute, right? Venus has already blown through this area. So now you are magnified. You are motivated to take yourself out, to have yourself be known, to allow your body to have a different kind of expression in the world and in its space. It's an absolutely beautiful time to take you out into the world. I will say too, because Virgos like to work, you're a natural 6th housey kind of energy. If you did want to leap out for a new job, put out job applications, reconsider your working plans for your life, this is a phenomenal time to go ahead and jump on board and do that, okay? Now, as we close out this month and we get to the 30th, we see Mercury moving out of the Virgo energy. It just whips right on through there and moves into the energy of Libra, and this will light up your 2nd house space as well. So I really think that, Mercury busies the space that it gets into. So whether it is spending money or making decisions around your money, Mercury is going to busy this area, but Mercury is quite savvy. It's comfortable in the energy of Libra because it's in a state that we call peregrine, which means he's just fine, not really conflicted in any ways. So this will be a time with Mercury here to make those financial decisions. Look over that budget. Definitely money or new earning income opportunities could be available for you at that time. With Mercury in the energy of Libra, if you do need to have conversations, the big ones, where you need to get things out on the table, you need to make decisions, you need to write some things down, whatever this looks like, if there's a space for conversation and decision making, Mercury is going to be really helpful and really influential for you here. Now, I will say it's probably a great idea to watch the weekly videos that I have on this channel as well, so that you can see the days where Mercury will be in tougher position, or days where maybe you need to pivot a little bit more or come at something from a different perspective. That's all here to help you navigate these energies that are coming up to your table. All right, my beautiful Virgo friends, I hope you have a beautiful beginning to your annual birthday time. I hope you like this video, comment, share, subscribe. Enjoy the downtime for the first 3 weeks of August from the YouTube Academy. Go back, watch the videos, watch the classes, ask the questions that you need to ask, and just really get gushy in the astrology, okay? All right, my beautiful friends, I love you, and I'll see you next month. Bye.